Obviously, I'm not going to... you motherfucker. Yo, what's up, creepers and geekers? Chris the Atari Creep here, and it is lightsaber time. I have the rare opportunity of being home alone for 24 hours. The ladies are gone, and I'm all by myself. So I'm going to work on the lightsaber along with another project that I'll probably tell you guys about at a future time. But as you can see, as I said, I cut the main body, the shaft of the saber off, and it's just roughed out. Still got a lot of cleaning to do. And yeah, that's that. Now, a quick side note. I think I'm going to buy another one of these and just paint the form as it is, because I'm looking at old pictures of this before I tore it apart, and I'm starting to really dig it again. So, you know, obviously not filming it, because what would be the point of that? I might just grab another one and do that. But long story short, I need to come up with something for the main shaft, body, whatever you want to call it. And I came up with this. And this is an idea I'm just toying with. It may be scrapped in about 20 minutes. I don't know. What is this, you ask? Well, allow me to input some footage from an update video that I never aired. All I know, but I've been collecting these little milk jug caps. Again, I keep little plastic pieces here and there in a little bucket for, you know, if they have an interesting texture to them or whatever. I like to hang on to them because you never know. And what I've been doing is cleaning up the lip, because they have like some molding deals, and just super gluing them together, making sure the spines or the little knurls there line up. And I have about 3 of them so far. And I've just been using a little emery board from the dollar store to clean up the edges, and a little bit of CA glue, some super glue. And I guess the idea is I'm going to stack them on top of each other to create the main base for this thing. Well, that was very educational, wasn't it, children? All right, so here's where we're going with this. Now, I could scrap this idea in 10 minutes for all I know. But I'm going to go with it for now. I'm going to start building this thing from the ass up. I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way to the top. So what we need to do is get this ground out a little bit inside of here. And I'm going to thin this piece out right here. And then I'm just basically going to fit these together so this seats inside there nicely, okay? Then I'll worry about how much of these little walls I keep and any shapes or direction I go with it. Then I'm going to just paint this up, you know, just a preliminary paint job. I am going to do a little bit of detailing to it, just enough to give it, you know, a look. And that'll help me better see where we're going with it. And then eventually what I'll do is, if I do keep this, I'll seat it in there permanently. And then we'll get to the top part here, and we'll get that on there, and we'll seat that nicely, and then work from there. Now, as far as like greeblies and stuff for the sides of this to make it look a little bit better, I'll worry about that once the top and the bottom are secured to this. Just so I can make it all tie in nicely. I just want to do it as one form, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I got a lot of little detail things I want to put on to this, but we'll get to that when we get to it. The other thing I wanted to do for the base is I have this little thing. I don't know where it came from. I don't know what it's for, and I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. Just a little piece of, I'm guessing aluminum. It's really light, but it's metal. And I want to secure this in here. I think it would look really nice. I know you can't really tell in the camera. Excuse me. I got a little bit of a soda burp coming up. But in order to do that, I need to find some kind of flat discs thing to glue in here so that this will seat in there perfectly. And there is plenty of room to do it. So I'm going to work on getting that stuff together, and then we'll come back. And then before the end of this video, I'll give you just a quick, brief idea of what I'm going to do with this. Okay, so I painted this black, just real quick. I didn't prep or anything, that's why it's chipping away. I just didn't want something big and red sticking out. I like to get an idea what it's going to look like as a final piece while I'm working on it. And yeah, you know what? I was on the fence on whether or not this was going to work. I'm liking it. If you don't, I'm sorry, but this is where I'm going with it. So I did mill out in the side of the pommel. We'll call this part the pommel. With my rotary tools, just enough to get it in there. And it's tight. I mean, there's still a gap here, but a little bit of pressure will hold it. So I guess I'm just going to use 2-part 5-minute epoxy to secure all this. That way it's nice and strong. and we should be good. I did run into a small personal preference problem with the length of these two together. Plus, if you look, there's really not much of a transition there. It kind of looks silly to me. So I'm going to use another half a gallon. I'm going to use a half a cap from a milk gallon and just secure it here. And I'm going to use the open end here. So it really does give a nice transition. I mean, obviously, because I can't secure it, you're not going to get a real great idea. But there you go. And I think here mirrors here because, you know, where the lines are. And I just think it transitions nicely. And it gives me just enough length to do what I want. I just have to finish this gallon of milk first before I can use this cap. So that's all we got to say about that. So I am happy with I'm happy with the way this thing's coming out. I'm keeping the idea of these milk jug caps, and that's that. Now we're gonna do something about this thing. I talked about reproducing the vent emitters, which I obviously have to do, but my problem with it was length. And yes, I am going to make it a little bit longer, but I'm not going to reproduce exactly what was on here, because what would be the point? You know, it already exists. Fuck it. I'm going to go my own route. So the one thing I really like about the idea of doing this is it's free cycling. You know, not only are you keeping shit out of the landfill, but you're making something cool out of it, and everything's groovy. So turns out we got a little bit of a theme going on here. Here's a couple more bottle caps. These ones just happen to come off of a 20-ounce Coca-Cola bottle. And I think they look pretty groovy on there. I think those lines are nice. I wish I had better lighting and it would focus. But I think it looks really nice. And it just so happens to seal up just enough there to look right. So I'm going to use those. Obviously, I'm going to have to hollow the top of the cap off. But also, this is what I'm going to use for my side emitters. It fits that perfectly, so it'll just slip right in. So everything seems to be working out just perfectly. Now this thing here is 5 inches, and I was originally going to just thread this through by, you know, obviously clearing this stuff out. But one, I don't feel like doing all that work because, you know, that helps this thing stay stable. And two, I'm running into a length issue. So I'm going to cut this exactly in half, and, you know, it'll thread through here, and it'll attach itself to the top of the emitter end of the lightsaber. And I was going to leave it at that. Maybe cut a nice little angle on the end. You know, who knows. But I kind of did like the whole second pipe thing underneath it. So I'm trying to think of ways to make that happen without going out and buying another piece of PVC and doing whatever. I thought about making it out of plumber's epoxy putty. But nah. Free cycle, baby. Two themes. Bottle caps and free cycle. So I may or may not use these things here. These came off of an old hamper that we had. It was a metal frame hamper that had like a cloth bag to hold the clothes. And this would go onto the piping to hold the, you know, the cloth baggie. It just so happens that it will secure to this. So what I'm probably going to end up doing, more than likely, if I can grab one of them, so I'm going to cut off these little wings, and I will put two of them together. And if need be, I'll seal, you know, I'll blend the seam here. And just to give you an idea of what it may or may not look like, let me try this. And, you know, I think it'll look nice. Obviously, these will be butted up together. And I'll blend it all together so it looks like one piece. And this being, of course, a separate piece. And then once we get all that together, we'll start painting and stuff. So I think the next thing we need to talk about, besides me throwing things around, is the actual build order. So first and foremost, I'm going to secure this together, and I'm going to fill in the seams and what have you. And then I'm going to use a little bit of putty, probably to blend this transition between, I don't know if I have anything really good to point with, but between the line here and the actual pommel. So I'm going to get this solid and put together. And then I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to worry about, let's see, do I even have it over here? Oh, no, it's on there. I'm going to worry about getting something for the bottom of this, so I can get that in there. It's going to look sexy, I promise you. It'll look nice. And then I'm going to keep this part separate for paint because I don't want to spray into here and get it all whatever. And then I'm not going to put anything on here just yet until I get the emitter end secured to this thing. So I'm going to get those few things put together, get this secured together, and then probably hit this whole thing with some primer after, of course, scuffing the plastic and making sure that the primer will adhere to it. I might even put a real screw in here. Who knows? We'll see. So I'm going to probably next start working on putting this thing together. The only thing that's really holding me up is I don't know what to do in here. I had an idea of using, again, theme. This is another style of milk jug cap. Let's see, which way was I going to go with it? I think that's the way. It just so happens to fit on there perfectly. So I was thinking about doing that and maybe getting another one of these. And since there's like ribs and stuff in here, I was going to obviously be on the other side of it. Let me see if I can't do this in camera. Give you an idea what it might look like. Who knows? You know. And of course with some paint that would look nice. Just to give it something. I really want to use the original ring that it came with. So maybe I'll come up with something to put inside of here. I'll look around for something I can cannibalize. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish doing this. Then I'm going to build this completely. Then I'll secure them all together. Put all my little bits and bobs in there. Do some final touch-ups. And then paint the fucking thing. So hopefully you'll stick around for the rest of this. I don't know how many more parts there's going to be. But this is where I'm going to leave it for now because I'm done talking. And I want to have some soda and supper. And I want to charge my phone. And that's it. So I hope everyone's having a great weekend. If you're up here in the Northeast or wherever else it's cold, please stay warm. It's getting bitter out there. And we might be getting more snow. So you guys take care. Thanks as always for watching. Bye-bye. Hey, what's up, folks? The Creep here. Thank you, as always, so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more. You can follow The Creep on social media, and feel free to reach out at any time here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Creep would love to hear from you. And as always, thank you, take care, and bye-bye.